Catherine. I'm one of the youth lit specialists over at Books Inc. in Laurel Village. Coming at you today with a YA, young adult recommendation. It's called Shine by Jessica Jung. I recommend 13 and up. If you have anyone out there who's a K-pop fan, highly recommend this book. Jessica Jung herself was a K-pop star for a very famous band over in Korea called Girls' Generation, and she has written her debut novel. It's a story of a girl who wants to be an idol, star over in the K-pop world, and all the hard things she has to go through in order to make it in that world. Again, 13 and up, but if you have K-pop fans, it's perfect for them. A little behind-the-scenes glimpse about what that world is like. Once again, I'm Catherine, Books Inc. Laurel Village. If you have any questions, you can find me there. Bye!
Hi, Heidi here. Two magical YA titles that I've loved this year are Elatsoe by Darcy Littlebadger and Legendborn by Tracy Dion. These are both YA debuts. Elatsoe is a young woman in an alternate America. She's able to revive the ghosts of animals, and she has to stop someone from trying to revive the ghost of a human being because it's very dangerous. So great book. I really enjoyed it. It was very good. And then Legendborn is about Bree, who goes to a school, and she discovers that there's magic there as well. And there is a coming war, magical war coming. This is a retelling a little bit of King Arthur's tales and Knights of the Round Table. Pick it up today.
There, I'm going to say it now. I think one major trend for 2021 is going to be Indigenous voices. I think it'll be the year of Native voices. And so there are already a few books out that I wanted to prep you with, and I just want to have you guys keep your eyes open for so many more things that are coming out. There's a new imprint that's focused on Native voices coming. So here's a few to whet your appetite. Peacemaker, which just recently came out by Joe Bruchac. He has been writing for years now, and hopefully this will be another fantastic one on his list. Book 1 in the Misawa saga is called Barren Grounds. Think Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with an American Indian focus. These two foster kids join together, find a portal, and find much about their ancestry too. It's so fun, great action adventure, and hopefully book 2 comes next year. And then finally, this also I think can be even an adult crossover book. It's a memoir from Eric Gansworth called Apple Skin to the Core, a structure that follows the Beatles, which he was a huge fan of the Beatles. And so instead of the white album, he has the red album. It's beautifully done. All right, look for more next year. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I wanted to call to your attention 3 books that I think really hits this moment that we're in right now. We'll start with When They Call You a Terrorist. This is the young reader's version of the book by Patrice Kahn-Pullers, who was one of the Black Lives Matter co-founders. And it is particularly appropriate for kids and teens because it talks about how she first entered into her stages of activism. She was arrested at 12, and she gives a very personal rundown of how that happened and how she was essentially guilty of being Black in a lot of her situations. It's a fantastic read and makes it very, very personal. Next, we have Punching the Air. This is a novel in verse, co-written by Ibi Zoboi, who is well known for her teen novels, and Youssef Salaam, who was one of the Exonerated 5. It is not a biography of him and his time in prison, but it does closely follow sort of the same plot line, let's say. Our main character is in the wrong place at the wrong time. He is arrested, as are a number of other boys who were part of the altercation. He is the one that goes to jail. He's also a great artist, and it explores how artistic creation can not only nurture but also save oneself and change other people's minds. It gives a very poignant sort of overview of how something like this situation with the Exonerated Five could have happened and still happens, and ideally how we can stop it from happening. And finally, this book isn't out yet, so I have a galley to show you, but it's called The Black Friend on Being a Better White Person, by Frederick Joseph. Some of you may know him from his online sort of following. He's done some amazing crowdsourcing fundraising these past few months. What I love particularly about this book is how just chatty it is. He's talking about his own experiences as an African-American kid, mostly growing up, and how some situations that he's been in that have just blown his mind and have been uncomfortable that some of us who are not African-American might not recognize. So he puts it into perspective, mostly for a non-Black audience, but he also has some great interviews with people like Angie Thomas to also share their experiences, to make clear that this is a universal situation for those with Black and brown skin in America. So again, December 1st, that one comes out, but you can certainly pre-order. So those are my 3 choices for racial justice this season.
Yesterday was the National Book Awards, and this book, King and the Dragonflies by Kaysen Callender, won as the best book for young adults and middle grade kids. Another contemporary fiction one that I read that I really liked is Dress Coded. This is by, I believe, a new author, Carrie Firestone, and it's about kind of the unequal application of the school dress codes to the girls versus the boys. Is a good middle school book. Renee Watson, great writer, some places more than others. A story set, a girl who lives in Portland who goes back with her dad to visit his family in New York City. Kind of a story about how people fit in. Another book about fitting in or not, Martin McQueen, Middle School Queen, which is about a kid finding his voice in middle school. Strange Birds, also kind of a coming of age, finding your voice book by Celia Perez. Displacement is a graphic novel that also includes time travel with a girl who's visiting San Francisco, goes back in time to the internment camps in California where her grandmother is being held. Aida Salazar, her first book is The Moon Within, which is a coming-of-age story that's set a lot in Oakland, and her newest book is Land of the Cranes, which has to do with some of the ICE internment camps, deportations, and an interesting historical fiction book that I had out here was this one called Show Me a Sign, which is about the a community early in the founding of the United States on, I believe, it's either like Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard, and half of the community is deaf, and half of the community is hearing, and that's just normal in this community, but seemed like really strange to everyone else. So it's kind of how this girl and her family, their story, living there, when an outsider kind of comes in to study them and see what's going on.